It is Monday, April the 13th. We got lots to go over. NBA playoffs are getting started this week. We got coaching changes not even 24 hours after the season ends. And of course, we got to talk about a cursed franchise. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because another edition of Unbiased starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome into another edition of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live from a warm, breezy, but beautiful Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, this is the show that comes in for all your unbiased sports talk throughout the week. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, the jabroni of the Northeast, Tyler Adams.
Sam, I thought you were putting me in a makeup commercial with the whole easy breezy over there.
Hey man, look, it's nice out, but there's a little breeze out there today, little breezy today. Not gonna lie. But Mr. Adams, how are we doing tonight?
Oh, can't complain. Got the Miami Heat in the 10th seed. Football hasn't started. The draft is next week. Or this week? I lost track of my weeks. Next week.
No, it's next week.
Next week.
If it was this week, we are not prepared. But yeah, it's sports are picking up. Hockey and basketball postseason's about to start. Flyers a win away from the playoffs. I'm flyered up. Got my jersey on. Got the game on the television. Of course, they're losing 1-0 right now, but it's okay. Still got a lot of hockey to play throughout the day. But yeah, a lot going on. Dustin and I aren't on speaking terms because the Cubs are playing the Phillies. So if you want to watch an awkward episode of Hitting Home this week where we won't speak to each other, please tune in. But I'm going to bring this up at the end of the show. I'm going to bring it up at the end of Hitting Home. And I'm going to bring it up on the end of Birds this week. But I want to bring it up right now so everyone is aware. Guys, next freaking week, we have a busy week coming up. As everyone knows, next Thursday is the NFL draft. So just to give you guys a little heads up on what's going on next week. Unbiased, normal start time on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on, giving you a draft preview. For anybody who likes to watch our friends, and of course, I'm a part of the show as well, DA After Dark. No, you have not missed us over the past month. Some of us have had some work schedule issues that we were going and have had to work overnight. But DA After Dark will be back on Tuesday next week. So we'll be back to talk more NFL draft. Hitting Home, normal Wednesday at 10 a.m. Thursday and Friday, NFL Draft Show Night 1 live reactions. That'll be on Thursday. Tyler, myself. I'll have to ask Georgie if he's joining us this year. I hope he is able to, so hopefully he will. And then, of course, Friday night, NFL Draft Night 2 live reactions will be on for the whole second round and probably a decent portion of the third, I'll say. It'll depend on how long they want to take to announce the picks, which we already know takes 16 years off all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get it. That'll be next week. So like I said, we'll be reminding you guys throughout the week. Hectic schedule next week, but a lot of good coverage coming your way. This week, though, Tyler, we are going to talk some NBA. NBA play-in starts this week. We'll give our predictions on the play-in. Not going to go with the whole playoff prediction. We'll go live as the time goes. What did you just do?
I don't want to talk about the NBA play-in.
Oh, it's okay. Look, we're both in it, so it's not. Look, if I got to go through it, you got to go through it. It's okay. We're all in this together, and I'm not talking about High School Musical.
Oh God.
Which actually, come to think of it, the East High Wildcats could probably defeat my team in the play-in. So,
Sam, your team is a lot higher ranked.
that doesn't mean anything at this point.
You're right, it doesn't, because it's the play-in. Anything can happen.
That is true. But before we get into the play-in, we're going to talk about a team that's in the play-in. The Philadelphia 76ers. I can't keep doing this every year. This is not mentally healthy to be a 76ers fan anymore. So, as we all know, about a week ago, Joel Embiid missed a game or two with an illness. Fans weren't happy about it. Joel said they weren't letting him play, yada, yada, yada. Comes back, plays 2 games in a row, plays decently, had one good game, one game that was kind of just not the greatest. Then they're in Houston. And the news breaks that Joel Embiid is once again out with an illness. And everyone's thinking, how is he out with another illness? What is this guy? What's going on here? It's April. We don't get sick in April. This is not the winter. The news then breaks that Joel has appendicitis and had to undergo an appendectomy, which, if everyone knows, is about a 3-week recovery, which would knock him out till about the second or third game of the first round.
The question is, are the Sixers cursed or is Joel Embiid cursed?
I would like you to answer that question, Tyler. Is the process a curse?
You know, I thought the process was dead, but I guess it can't truly be dead until it ends with Joel Embiid. I feel like there will always be the hope of the process as long as he is a Philadelphia 76er. It's coming down to a point where you've already had the young stars show what they can do and that they are the future of the team. Joel's just kind of showing up every year like, that one uncle, like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm here for a little bit. And now you barely see him. So I feel like the process needs to end with Joel Embiid no longer being a 76er. Not saying he's going to retire, even though he might contemplate it with, all the injuries he's had over his career.
They may need to ask him. They may need to get him to medically retire.
Yeah. Boy, who knows? Maybe a change of scenery somehow fixes his whole body. And I say whole body because I feel like this man has had everything wrong with him possible.
He has had, and first off, we have had this conversation on so many shows, on so many episodes. This is not the show that I'm going to sit here and rip Joel Embiid, because I honestly, at this point, feel sorry for the guy. Because, outside of, having like injuries with his knees and stuff like that stuff, okay, you want to say it's on him, it's his health, it's being a big man. I mean, being a big guy is not easy. He has probably had some of the worst string of luck I have ever seen in my life. Some of the things that he has gone through with, Markelle Fultz going for a loose ball and cracking his face open and busting his orbital bone up. That is just accidental. Then what is it? A couple years later, he gets Bell's palsy. Like, okay, where'd this come from? And now he has appendicitis, which that just shows up on its own. That could just show up whenever it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has had some of the worst possible luck for any NBA player that I have ever seen.
He's going to go down as the greatest what could have been player. Or the most interesting one, at least.
Yeah,
Because
I
like dude's
honestly,
got all the talent in the world.
dude, I've always said he is Akeem Olajuwon, but more gifted. And that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to sit here and say that Joel is as great as Akeem was. Akeem was one of the greatest centers of all time. But could you imagine Akeem Olajuwon if he could have shot threes?
Yeah, he would have been a monster. What's going on, Nick?
Nick, what's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning into the show. First, I believe you're a first-time commenter. You could be, you could not be, but thank you for checking us out. Appreciate the comment. Nick, if the Flyers give me 2022 Phillies playoff run, I may not live to see the NFL draft. I may not live to see the AJ Brown trade. Which which by the way, he announced his football camp dates this year. One of them
Oh,
in May,
really?
one in July. Are we sure he's getting dealt? I don't think he'd be announcing that if he wasn't, but and real quick, I don't want to go full hockey nut job here, but this playoff run feels different because the last few Flyers playoff runs, they've been older veteran teams that it was like, all right, if they get in, they're probably not going to beat the team they're playing. But this team, young, hungry. You've had the young kids coming up through out the year. Denver Barkey, Alex Bump, Porter Martone looks like a superstar, and he's only been in the NHL for like a week. You got the established guys, Travis Konechny, Travis Sanheim, both still playing at high levels throughout their career, and Christian Dvorak's in the penalty box. Lovely.
Oh no.
This is not a good start to this game. Come on, boys, get it together. I mean, it feels like we've had our first steady goaltender in like 38 years with Dan Vladar. I feel like it's been since Ron Hextall that we had a goaltender that could actually do something for us. But yeah, honestly, if I get 2022 Phillies from this Flyers team, oh, it's going to be magical. Because if you want to talk about magic playoff runs in Philadelphia, I'm talking magic, like things we didn't expect. 2024 Eagles, I expected that. 2008 Phillies, I expected them to be a contender.
Well, 2017 Eagles,
They were 13-3.
but Nick Foles.
Yes, that is true. But I'm talking. Oh, you beat me to
Yeah, Nick. Hope everything's all good with you too. It's an old friend of mine.
Oh, there we go. And it's 2-0 Carolina. Okay, playoff hopes are killing me now. All right, muster a comeback must happen tonight because they're already down 2 goals.
Oh man.
And off comes the jersey.
Oh man. Go put the Phillies jersey on.
No. But no, yeah, when I'm talking, off Ladar's pad into the back of the net. Heartbreaking. But if I'm talking about magic, I'm talking 2008 Eagles. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking 2022 Phillies. I'm talking 2010 Flyers that were down 3-0 to the Bruins. That's what I'm talking about. But if they could, man, they give me that 2022 run, I'd be all over it. Be all over it. But back over to the Sixers. Yeah, like, at what point do you sit back now and you think about, because here's the problem with Joel Embiid. The contract is awful. I think we know this.
Oh, yeah.
The contract is god-awful. They gave him all that money in that last extension when they didn't need to do it. And then that was the year, the knee injury was bothering him. It messed them all up. And now you're like, first of all, not only was no one probably going to trade for him before that, because no offense, I love Joel, but he's damaged goods. Hate to say it, but he is.
Yeah.
Now, we've got cap hits of like close to $60 million. Nobody's going to trade for a guy that has cap hits of $60 million when if you're lucky. We're not talking 3-4 years ago. Now you're lucky if you get 40 games out of it.
He honestly, he's at the point where he's holding the team back.
Yeah. Because every offseason now, we have to go into the season, and the game plan of the year is, can we get Joel to the playoffs? Clearly, you can't. And people will sit there and defend like, this wasn't his fault. This was just a freak thing. It doesn't matter. It's every single year. He either is missing the postseason or he is hurt. in the postseason, and it hampers his play. I don't understand where they go with him from here. Either they got to find somebody, because the one good thing is they're going to start getting their draft picks back. They're going to start having their own draft picks again, and from all the stupid trades that Daryl Morey has done over his tenure in Philadelphia. But you're going to need to either attach multiple draft picks to him and say, here, please take the contract. We'll give you 2 firsts and him, because that's what you're going to have to do. Or you are going to have to talk.
Give away 2 firsts and Joel to offload the contract.
What are you supposed to do? Just keep riding this thing?
I mean, how many years are left on it?
Like 4? The new contract hasn't kicked in yet.
Oh. Well, just avoid it.
You can't.
Man.
The only way you could void it is if you get him to medically retire, which at this point, someone needs to sit down with him and say, look, you're not healthy. You're on the wrong side of 30. Last time I checked, health does not get better with age. And it's like, I feel like they have the pieces to start. It's not even a rebuild. It's just retool the roster.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the Sixers are probably drafting one very good, well-rounded center. They don't need a Joel Embiid to push them over the top. They need a great, well-rounded center, or even forward for that matter. Maybe you just get your average NBA center, can rebound, score in the paint, and have a really good power forward next to him.
So we haven't had a power forward. We haven't had a good power forward in like 50 years.
But I mean, that could be all it takes to turn the Sixers around. But I mean, when you're stuck with Joel Embiid, what are you gonna get? 36 games,
if that.
He might average you 20 points a game, but he's not going to play more than half the season.
Nick, I agree. Phillies in 2022, they did come out of nowhere, made that playoff run the last day of the year. And Nick, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm still not over the 2011 season ending the way it did. I have despised the St. Louis Cardinals ever since. So going into St. Louis in 2022, sweeping them right out of Busch Stadium and ending the run of Yadier Molina, Albert Pujols, and Adam Wainwright all in one weekend, oh, it made my freaking day. Yeah, and Nick, I like that point there because honestly, losing the World Series sucked. But I think on every level, everybody thought that the Astros were the better team. They had the better pitching staff. They've been there before. Yes, we had a veteran lineup, but not a lot of our guys have been to a World Series. That was Bryce Harper's first World Series. I think the only Phillies hitter in the lineup that was in the World Series was Kyle Schwarber. I think he may have been the only one that was in a World Series before. I mean, JT Realmuto started on the Marlins. You ain't getting into a World Series with them. And, of course, the Nationals, they won a World Series the year after Bryce Harper left. We won't talk about that. But it's like, it didn't even bother me losing the World Series. Everything since then has bothered me, but we'll get to that another day. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, back to the Sixers, at this point, I don't know where to go with this. And I feel like we've had this conversation, Tyler, at least 6 times on 609. We have had this conversation dating back to the first days we started this. And we've had it just as recently as last year, with the knee injury and, he played in the Olympics. And then, here comes opening night. And, hey, by the way, Joel's not playing tonight. And he probably won't play for the first 2 months. Well, where'd that come from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, he's been dealing with this injury for months.
I'm sitting here now and I'm like, I don't know where to go because the contract is bad. No one's going to trade for him. I don't even think a team that thinks that he is the missing piece would trade for him at this point.
The Lakers.
No, they wouldn't. I don't even think the Lakers are. I don't know. At this point, I would just be okay if, like I said, if they could find a way to talk to Joel and maybe find a way for him to medically hang it up If I was them, I would, because I just don't see a scenario where this gets better.
It's going to be tough.
And I just don't know how you can justify going into another offseason and first of all, going in with the same regime of Nick Nurse, who, by the way, may be the worst head coach amongst playoff teams. Stop letting the 2019 Raptors fool you. Nick Nurse is a bad coach.
There's worse, but he's not the greatest. I can agree.
I honestly think that if you put every coach in the NBA playoffs on a tier list, I think Nick Nurse would be at the bottom of that barrel. Like, I just, for one, cannot understand why you cannot go into next season with him, Daryl Morey at the helm, running this team. You can't. You just can't. It's over.
Oh, man. I can tell you the exact moment the process died.
I hope we're not in agreement here.
The process died in, what was it, second round playoffs. Might have been against the Hawks when Ben Simmons had a wide open layup and opted to pass the ball to, was it Matisse Thybulle, who got sent to the line and missed like both free throws or something? That was it. After that moment, I mean, ultimately we know what happened. They lost the series. But I think that moment in that game was when the process died. It started with Ben Simmons. He started the downfall of the process.
Yes, and honestly, because the process was built around him to get the number 1 overall pick, get the franchise-changing players to build a championship team, and he never turned into it. He never once did. And I hate to, well, I mean, I don't hate to say it, but it's been a very, the process has been nothing but a bunch of drama, turmoil, and I'm sorry, it's failure. It's been nothing but a failure. And that's why I ask, is the process a curse? Because he calls himself that. Joel calls himself the process.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said the process is dead. But as long as Joel's there, it will still linger around. I don't think the Sixers will finally make it to that next step until he's off the team.
End of the first period, Carolina's up 2-0. Damn. All right. Okay, now I'm a little nervous.
Shut the TV.
Oh, and as I turn on the Phillies game, Dansby Swanson hits a 2-run home run to cut the Phillies lead to 4-2. You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, Sam, I think you got to turn the TV off.
I'm putting on MLB Network. Who else is there regional coverage on tonight? My God. Anyway, but no, I mean, if you can find a way to unload his contract, I'm doing it. I don't care. I mean, yeah, maybe I was a little rash with what I said earlier, trading multiple first rounders, but you have to find a way to get this. Has to stop. You can't go into another season and selling the fan base on, if Joel's healthy, this is where we'll be. It's been the same story. If Phillies fans think what this baseball team does running it back every year is the definition of insanity, then what the Sixers are doing is full-on psychotic insanity. I don't even know that's a thing.
It is now.
They have, and let's be real, the process netted you Joel Embiid. Everyone else was a failure. Everything else was a failure.
Noel.
Nerlens, I wouldn't say was a failure. Don't let Orlando hear you say that. He may jump through. He may come back all the way from Ohio and pound you in the sand. He loved Nerlens. No, because here's the thing, right? He liked Nerlens the well. I like Jahlil Okafor, but Joel Embiid did both things better. Nerlens could defend, but had no offensive game. Jahlil had all the offensive game, but couldn't defend my freaking goddaughter in the post. And then Joel did better than both of them. So, but again, that was the other thing about Joel. There was red flags from the beginning. They draft him out of Kansas. He's already got a fractured back, and he's already got the first broken foot. Then, if I wish Matt was watching, because Matt could be my witness to this. We went to a game during the process that he was practicing. He did a 360 dunk in a practice shoot-around. And then 6 weeks later, Joel Embiid re-broke his foot because he did a windmill dunk and he wasn't wearing a boot. The red flags were there from the moment they drafted him, because the year after they drafted him, they had to draft Jahlil Okafor. They had to keep drafting big men because they didn't know if he would ever be healthy. The red flags were there from the start. And I like you. And look, you're an outsider. I'm a Philly guy, but you're the outsider. And you even said it. You know how talented he is.
Yeah.
We know how good of a player he is when he's on the basketball court. I mean, the guy dropped 70 on the guy who's probably the best player in the NBA right now. Now, granted, Wemby was a rookie, but still. Like, Joel has been the cornerstone of this franchise. But when I think of cornerstones, I think of top 2 seed every year, conference title opportunities almost every year. I see that in Denver with their center. The Spurs are probably going to have that too. I see it with Oklahoma City. We haven't gotten past we haven't gotten out of the second round in his entire tenure with the Sixers. How much longer are you going to sit here and realize that a dominant big man that posts up 60% of his time and face-ups from the three-point line and tries to dribble when he can't is not the way to build a team? I think they have realized it. I think they are starting to go the way of the NBA. They got a backcourt now, because that was the one thing with Joel here we never had, was a backcourt.
Yeah, everything just went through him. There was nothing else.
Your best team with him was that year when you brought the Atlanta Hawks series. That was the best team they had around Joel. Danny Green was on that team. He had a really good year. Seth Curry was on that team. The starting backcourt was Seth Curry and Ben Simmons. Now, that's record-wise. The best team built around him was Ben Simmons' quote-unquote rookie year, when they had Ersan Ilyasova, Dario Saric, who I still think would have been a superstar if he never got hurt, Robert Covington. Who was the other guy? They made 2 buyout signings that year. They signed Ersan Ilyasova. They signed J.J. Redick in free agency. They had another dude that was a shooter. Oh, Marco Bellinelli.
Oh, that's right.
And I thought that team could do some things in a couple years. I think they took the Celtics to 6. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Boston's a better team right now. We good. We'll be back. And then Kawhi Leonard showed up.
The double doink, triple doink, however many times that ball bounced.
That was the year, man. That was the year. That was the year they had the chance to win the whole thing. With Butler and Simmons and Tobias Harris and Joel and JJ. Oh, my God. It was right there for the taking. Everything was right there, and it just completely flopped after that. It breaks my heart. And I just cannot believe that we are at this point. That I don't know. I'm depressed. I'm super depressed.
Well, Sam, if you're depressed, I'll be right there with you, because I can't say much more for my team right now.
Fighting Philly, I don't appreciate this comment.
The ball's still bouncing, and he's still laughing. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, laughing as he robs the Clippers blind every year.
Yup, exactly. You got it.
But now, here's where I want to. Here's the next part of this topic I want to go to. We're both in agreement. I think this is the end for Joel in Philadelphia, and it's not, like I said, it's not his fault. But sometimes it's just time. How many more chances are we going to let this go? Like I said, if your season plan, right, when you are a NBA front office and your off season has to be put around, can we get a guy through 50 games? You're already lost because you know what you're already banking on? You're already kind of banking on 32 losses. So, Anthony, that is spot on every bit of the way. As soon as, but honestly, it kind of started before that.
It did, but the reason that timing sucked is because those were like the last healthier years of Joel Embiid that we've seen so far. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any more in the future. So those were the last years where you got the most out of Joel Embiid, availability wise.
Well, no, because what I mean by this is it started with the same guy. Because guess what? If that certain somebody that Anthony just mentioned in that comment gives a crap about the game of basketball instead of making money and actually cares to develop his offensive game, he takes that layup and has no problem because he said, okay, I'm working on my free throw shot all offseason. I'm shooting at a 75% clip. I'm going to sink these. We're going to the conference finals. But no, he wanted to make cute gym videos every offseason, taking jump shots and then not taking one in an entire game. We literally gave this guy a standing... Okay, hold on. We gave this guy a standing ovation like he just won us the NBA Finals on some 2007 LeBron stuff because he made a three-pointer in a preseason game against an international non-NBA opponent. We gave this guy I'm going to freaking lose my mind right now. We gave this guy a max contract so he could develop his offensive freaking game. And he turned into such a great freaking player, sarcasm clearly, that the only thing I could trade this jackass for, and I hate cursing, but I'm getting hot right now. The only thing I could get back for this guy was 34-year-old James Harden, who you saw, honestly, that was probably the best superstar fit Joel ever did. I like Jimmy Butler, but we didn't see enough of Jimmy here to see what they could have been. But James Harden could be the facilitator of an offense while Maxey and Embiid did their work. Harden could also still be that guy that could give you 40 a night. I mean, guys showing you it these past couple years in LA and now in Cleveland.
Yeah.
All Ben Simmons had to do, we even said it, dude, we don't need you to Steph Curry this thing. Just shoot mid-range jump shots. Shoot a mid-range that's like 60% accurate. That's all I asked. That's all we ever asked. Oh, baby, Trey Turner. Never mind. That's not even close. I thought Trey got one. Not even close. But, we weren't asking for much. I just wanted you to shoot a couple of jump shots a game.
Yeah.
But then the one night Joel misses a game against Utah with Rudy Gobert, who at the time, Defensive Player of the Year. Ben Simmons goes out there, he drops 42 without taking one jump shot. Like, what?
All free throws and layups, yep.
I don't even know if there was free throws.
And here's the thing where Ben Simmons gets no excuse. For years, Bam Adebayo, great defender, great rebounder, physical threat inside the paint. Ask him to shoot a mid-ranger or three-point shot, forget about it. What do? Last couple years, he'd been working on it. Last year, he attempted over 200 three-pointers, had 35% from the field. This year, shot 400. Didn't make them all, but he attempted 400 threes. And still, the same, he had about 31% from three. But he evolved his game.
Hey, you know what they say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
How do you think I felt? My whole life playing basketball, up until I got to high school, my whole middle school life, I shot a 70% mid-range jump shot. I was always picked on teams because I could shoot. I didn't start shooting three-pointers until I was in my senior year of high school. Turned out okay. Not great, but at least I was attempting.
And then you met me and I locked you down every day.
Okay, whatever. But, and that's the thing, you just acknowledged it. Ben Simmons, the best that he was in Philly, elite defender.
Yeah.
For that size, against guards, elite defender.
Yeah.
Excellent rebounder, really good facilitator, and a really solid playmaker. All this guy had to do was develop some sort of a jump shot, and he would have probably been a top 12 NBA player in the league still. And that was the other thing. It was how he acted after that season. All this team said to you was, could you please try to develop your offensive game? Oh, I want out. I'm done. Trade me. Shows up the practice with his cell phone in his pocket and plays the entire practice just so Doc would throw him the hell out of the practice.
I'm laughing at the impending comment.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I guess I'll go ahead and read this one off for you, Zolt. They didn't have 3-pointers when George was in high school. Man.
You know what the best part is? Zolt's had a month off of doing DA because of George's overnights, and he doesn't have any repercussions coming him till next week, so he's just taking every shot he can till then.
Can't blame him.
But Zolt, good evening, by the way. Hope all is well, buddy.
Yes.
But yeah, I just all Ben Simmons had to do to maximize, and then of course another thing doesn't help that Markelle Fultz got the yips.
You got
those two. Well, because here's the thing, right? If Ben Simmons doesn't develop his offensive game, that's kind of why they drafted. That's another thing. Not only did they have to draft Jahlil Okafor because they didn't know if Joel would stay healthy, they had to draft another guard because the one they thought they were getting won't shoot.
Yep.
The process may be the most flawed concept I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. Now, there have been some good things that have come out of it. I mean, I don't like to say anything about COVID was good, but if there's a tournament in 2020, because this is where I'm going with it, if there's a tournament in 2020, Tyrese Maxey's not falling into the 20s in that draft. Oh, sweet Moses, Trey Turner. But because the one thing you could say with Tyrese Maxey is he has shown you what Joel can do when he does have a guard who can score from all phases of the floor, inside the paint, mid-range, 3-point. Tyrese Maxey pulls off from the logo and gives zero shits. Like, the guy literally just hoist it. But that's where I said this last year. It's time. And people can say, oh, Tyrese Maxey can't be the best player on a championship team. How in the world are we supposed to know that? They're like, oh, well, look what happens when he's playing without Joel Embiid. Okay, yes, let's talk about that. He's playing shorthanded because his so-called best player can't be available to them.
Yeah, so just think if you had another good player out on the floor instead of a backup for Joel, he probably would still have the same effectiveness. I have no doubt he would still have the same effectiveness.
Anthony, here's the problem with that. Joel Embiid is the difference between Joel Embiid. Embiid actually has to load manage. Like, load management is for people like Embiid. I mean, Tyler, can we agree on that? He literally just cannot get through 60 games.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard still loads manages from the ankle injury he suffered in 2016. Oh, I watched the film and I twisted my ankle 8 years ago. I got to sit out this. There are guys that just load manage because they're old. Like that's the embarrassing part of the NBA right now. But Joel has he ever played 70 games in a season?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't even have to look at that and I can tell you no.
We are.
I want to see how close he got.
I think 66 is his career high. I think it's 66.
Joel. The process. He played 68.
Oh, wow. So
2021, 2022. The following year, he played 66.
Okay, so I was close.
Never played 70 games.
No. And he's never going to.
Oh,
his body cannot hold up throughout half a season anymore. We're not even at that point anymore where he'll get to 60. We'll be lucky if we get 50.
The Sixers got to take what you can get at that point. If it's 50 games, it's 50 games.
The Sixers center position has been cursed since Moses Malone. When Moses came here, they won the title in 83. He put him over the top. Since then, it's been an embarrassment. Now, Dikembe was awesome, but Dikembe was he was only here for a little bit. Yes, they made that finals run, but they lost. Then they went through the 7 years of the Samuel Dallenberg age. Okay. I want to forget the days of Spencer Hawes. And then they made the Andrew Bynum trade. And then they traded Andre Iguodala. And then they traded Drew Holiday, who, by the way, has, 2 championships?
I think those 2 trades there are some of the biggest mistakes the Sixers franchise made.
They traded Drew
Iguodala and Holiday.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Let's be real. The 2010-2011 Sixers, they had 40 wins back-to-back years. That team, look, if you are going to try to win a championship with Andre Iguodala as your best player, you're probably not going to win a championship. And to get Andrew Bynum, they thought Andrew Bynum was that star player they needed. But to get him, you had to shed salary and you had to get rid of Iguodala. I understood trading Iggy. But to trade Drew Holiday, he was 24 years old, coming off an all-star appearance? He's supposed to be the building block.
Trade him high.
Yeah, what do we get?
Let's just hope that they don't have a blast from the past and trade high on another young guard.
No. Well, they got 2 now, and they ain't going to trade neither of them. Speaking of blasts from the past, I was sitting around the other day thinking about all our lovely fans and how much we love and appreciate all of them. And I was thinking of somebody that I haven't heard from in a little bit. Look who it is.
Bernsey.
Burnsy's back. Burnsy, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
Hope all with you, man. They said centers are not real. We got centers shooting threes like peanut butter on bread. So
we got the centers from 2K nowadays in the NBA.
Good evening, Stephanie. Hope you guys are all well.
What's going on?
We got everybody. The chat's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like I said, and first of all, they were going into this season and they weren't thinking of being very competitive because let's be real. No team. Oh, dear God. Tyler, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
What's up, cuz? I hope everything's well with you, man. Our baseball team's annoying me, so we'll have to chat about that one day. But no team, and we've been on the Sixers for we've been on the Sixers this entire show, so, but no team goes into the season and they're starting power forward, knowing that they're going to have Joel Embiid and Paul George on injury management. No respective team goes into the season with their starting power forward being Dominic Barlow on a 2-way contract. And his backup reserve is Jabari Walker, who was also on a 2-year contract.
Oh, brother.
No respected team does that. And that's the other thing. They never could find a reserve center to ever be like a guy that's like, okay, he could be a really good bench player and a solid starter. The best one we had is Andre Drummond, but Andre Drummond, actually, Andre Drummond has been shooting the freaking 3-ball late this year for some reason. But it's just been so bad. This has been so bad for years, and I just want it to end so we can get in. I don't want to waste the prime of Tyrese Maxey. That's my point here.
Yeah.
And I know we've been on the Sixers a lot, but I want to move past the Embiid part. I want to talk about that now. The next phase of this, if they can and if they have the guts to attempt to move off from Joel, I think Tyrese Maxey can easily be. Is he the best player on a championship team? I don't know. But could he be a top 3 player on a championship team? I don't think there's any denying that.
I don't see why he can't be the best player on a championship team. And the kid's 25.
That's the thing. That's the other thing. He's been in the league all this time. He's still only 25 years old.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a guy who has done nothing. You want to talk about improvement year in. Rookie season, 2020-2021. 61 games. Only plays 15 minutes a game. Good God, Doc Rivers hated him. But somehow George Hill played 30 minutes a night.
The old wily veteran.
Who stunk here. Here's the key one. Second year, when Ben Simmons throws his temper tantrum, 75 games, 17.5 points. Year 3, 20.3. Next year, 25.9. Last season, only played 50-something games, 26.3. This year, 70 games, did miss a couple weeks with the ligament issue with his what did he have? He had the finger ligament problem. 28.3. Shooting the ball better from 3 this year than he has at all last year. Last year was ugly. He's a very high volume scoring guard. And that's what he is. But he's giving you 30 a night.
Yeah.
This guy, and you have, in my opinion now, I still think VJ Edgecombe's going to be a superstar, man.
I mean, just think, if the Sixers can kind of put together with Edgecombe and Maxey, like Tatum and Brown, I mean, we've seen it before. All it takes is a really good duo that can score. Add the right role players around them. Not Joel Embiid. Someone who can play more than 70 games a year. And why can't they make runs in the Eastern Conference every year?
And Tyler
Paul George
made a
has to
good
go
point.
too. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I was going to get to him in a second, but Tyler makes a good point in this comment. Now, again, I can't get the whole thing on the screen, but he's eventually, if this keeps up, Maxey's agent may say, hey, you sure you still want to be here?
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, you're not getting much farther in your career, so I don't. And look, Maxey we know is already a superstar. I think I get what you're saying with Paul George, but you do when Paul George has played this year. Mind you, Paul George had knee surgery. Literally, what was it? Oh, that's in the gap. Let's go. Brandon Marsh is clearing the bases. We got a 7-2 ball? Nope, 6-2 ball game. Adolis Garcia is not Justin Crawford. They cannot run fast. But don't you kind of need some veteran leadership on this team? I understand what you're saying about Paul George, and it's a max contract that's been a failure so far. But he did have knee surgery literally like 2 weeks before the season because he got hurt at practice. I understand him getting some management, plus he's up there in age. But don't you kind of need some veteran leadership on this team?
You do. They got to be smarter about it contract-wise, though.
And again, it's hard to move a max contract because nobody's going to want to take it.
Yeah.
They need to completely redo every draft pick that they do still possess should be on their front court. Because the backcourt's set for the next 5-6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is going to do his thing, and VJ Edgecombe, I'm going to keep saying it, the kid's going to be a star. I know Sixer fans were mad, like, oh, we didn't take Ace Bailey. I think Ace Bailey's going to be a great player too. But I think VJ Edgecombe, with his athleticism and the way what he provides on both sides of the floor from an athletic standpoint, is going to be a perfect addition. And not only that, look what he's done when these guys have gone down. When Maxey went down, when Embiid went down. He's out there dropping 38 points, grabbing 7 rebounds, dishing out 11 assists. You have a backcourt where it's not, no offense to Steph and Clay. I'm not comparing them to Steph and Clay at all. So I don't want people to think I'm doing that. But when it comes to that backcourt, who's facilitating the offense? Steph. Clay's the spot-up shooter. This isn't that kind of backcourt. They can run this offense through both of these guys. And you could get nights where both of them have 25 points, 10 assists. You can get that from both of these guys. I think the Sixers are starting to realize that the age of building around a center, especially one that is often more injured than he's not, is over.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely over.
Something this offseason has to change. You either have to get rid of Joel Embiid, fire Nick Nurse, fire Daryl Morey, which I think Daryl Morey is on his way out too, because Bob Myers now works for the group that Joshua Harris owns, the Sixers owner. He works for the sports group that Joshua Harris is a part of. So Bob Myers built some pretty good teams out there in Golden State. I'll take my bets. But no, I just think that the time with this regime is over. Daryl Morey has destroyed this team. Nick Nurse cannot coach. Joel cannot stay healthy. It's over. I love him. I supported him since day one, but I think it's kind of over. It's not kind of. It's really over. And when they get bounced by the Orlando Magic because the roster is not constructed well enough to win outside of him not being there, the "I told you so" will come back on this show because he is not. It's over. Joel cannot be the best player on a championship team because he's not available enough to be on a championship team.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
And you could say they're going to trade him, but guess what? They're going to get barely anything in return because no one's going to pay or trade for an off-injured superstar who now will only play about 50 games a year.
What they're going to have to do, they're going to have to suffer through his contract, keep whatever draft picks they have, because no, I don't think they should trade 2 first-rounders to get him offloaded. Suffer the contract, keep the picks. Hopefully, you get some good building pieces to slot in with Edgecombe and Maxey.
Yeah, because I just don't know. I don't know where you go from here because this whole thing has just been over for Mishkov 2-1. Sorry,
climbing back.
Down one. Let's go. The kids are producing. Let's go. Let's tie this bad boy up. But all right, we've been on the Sixers this entire show. Let's move on. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. Let's catch up to the comments. And I've been on this one, but I didn't want to bring it up just yet because I know we were still on our Sixers talk. Stephanie had a question for us a few moments ago. She asked her about, she's surprised that the Warriors were still fighting for a playoff spot. Are we surprised that they were still able to fight? Were still fighting their way this late into the season? I will say yes, because I thought when Jimmy Butler went down, it was over.
I never fully believed that for the simple reason of Stephen Curry.
That is true, but
he's missed a lot of time this year as well. They only played 43 games. So it's been a lot of patchwork for the Warriors. I really don't know how they made it this far. It's amazing that they've been able to find a way. I think did they make it in the play-in as the 9th or 10th seed?
They're the 10th seed, all right.
Oh yeah, nice.
37 and 45.
Wow. Wow. That makes me feel a little bit better about the Miami Heat. At least they have 43 wins.
I absolutely despise the play-in. I just hope people are aware of that.
Yeah. Now, see, when you look at it from the aspect of the Suns have 45 wins, then the Trailblazers have 42 wins, the Clippers have 42 wins. When you look at close teams with records like that, that's where I don't mind the play-in. But then you look at 37 wins from the Warriors, and you're like, anything can happen. They have a shot to make it and bounce out one of these teams that has like 5 more wins than them.
This is the point. This is the point I try to make about the play-in. I understand what the league is trying to do. It's trying to get teams to compete more. And, if you, like I say, if you get in the dance, anything can happen. I say it in every sport. If you can get into the playoffs, anything's possible. However, now we're literally rewarding teams that are winning 35 games with playoff spots.
Well, they do still have to earn it.
Do they? This is technically a postseason series.
They do because I think I think the Warriors have to win 2 games to make it. Is that correct?
Something of that
I'm
nature.
pretty sure the 9th and 10th seed play each other, and then 7 and 8 play each other. Oh, I gotta pull up
I
the
think so.
bracket.
Yeah, seven.
Hurt my
Seven
brain.
plays 8. 9 plays 10.
And then the winner of 7 and 8 gets 7, and then the loser of 7 and 8 plays the winner of 9 and 10. So
Yeah,
if
good.
you're at the 9 and 10, you have to win 2 games. If you're at the 7 or 8th seed, all you got to do win 1 game, you're good. You get 2 chances basically. So theoretically, if the team does deserve to be there, they should be able to win 1 of 2 games.
Yeah, like
You
I
know,
said,
which team really ruined the chances of the play-in dying? The Miami Heat a couple years ago with Jimmy Butler. They fought through the play-in and went all the. Did they go to the Eastern Conference Championship?
something of that
Or was it the
around that.
finals? I don't know if it was the finals that year or not.
I'm not sure either.
All I know is Jimmy Butler was dead. It
Was
was
that
got to like
about-
game 2, and he was just like he was out of it.
All right, I'm going to try to catch up on some of the comments. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, I saw your comment, Tyler, about Brandon Marsh, and no, you make a point with Paul George. He's often injured. I understand, but it's just like you can't get rid of everybody just like that. Ty, I do agree. Ace Bailey is going to be a good player. It's going to be really hard to say Ty and not get your attention. And yeah, he was bringing up earlier about VJ playing both sides of the floor. Yeah, just again from an athletic standpoint, how good of a player he's already turned into.
Yeah.
That's a good question from Anthony. Would you go after Sabonis?
Sabonis would be a very nice player for them to get. Oh, by the way, I did find it. It was 2022, 2023 when the Heat made it out of the play-in and all the way to the finals. So that's the reason why the play-in will never go away.
Yeah, because one team got hot.
Yeah, they did. And then they
here's the thing.
only swept.
Here's the thing with Sabonis. I like the idea. However, I want to. We got a tie game in South Philly. Sorry if my mic just cracked.
Which team is playing in South Philly? Is it the Flyers?
Would I be hyped up if the Cubs just tied the Phillies?
Oh, that's right. The Phillies have the lead.
They're up 9-2. Sorry, Dustin.
9-2. Oh my!
If we just scored like 5 runs in one inning. Oh, what a pass! And Trevor Zegras puts it home.
So I think I see where you were going to go with Sabonis. Had a season-ending knee surgery 2 months ago.
It's not even the knee surgery. It's the 3-point shooting numbers. I need a big. I know. I need a big who can stretch the floor like consistently.
Yeah.
And Sabonis has turned into a very solid, good playmaking big man. So, I mean, honestly, him passing out of the post and I think the pick and roll with him, Maxey, and Edgecombe and the pick and pop, I think that could be something fun to watch. But I don't know how would he fit? Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, I got a good up and coming big man that could stretch the floor. I could trade to you.
Who?
Kello Ware. I want 2 first-rounders back.
You'll get Joel Embiid and nothing else.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
Joel Embiid and nothing else. Wow. Just trade a bag of chips at that point.
Tyler, I don't think people would be upset with Sabonis. I just don't. Sabonis makes them better. I don't know how much of a fit is it.
Yeah, I mean
it
Sabonis, he at least he's not as injury prone. You can at least rely on him. Yes, you are losing that floor spacing aspect, but like you said, you do get a good playmaker from the low post.
Yeah, and the other problem with Sabonis is if you are playing him, if he's your center, then defensively you're in real trouble.
Yeah, I mean he'll get you like 20 and 10, but
He's going to give you a minus
defense
net rating.
wise, you might be lucky if he blocks a shot a game.
Now, if I can get a big man next to him, get a bigger lineup, roll with two big man lineup, and then have my boys in the backcourt,
Yeah,
okay, then we're talking. But I need this team. This team has not had size in so long. We have no size on this team.
yeah. I mean they usually run like small forwards at power forward.
Tobias Harris.
Paul George.
Yeah. Stephanie, the day that Steph Curry retires, Golden State's going to go back into purgatory for a very long time.
Ooh, yes, they are.
But he literally is the only reason that team's still alive. But yeah, I just don't know what are some options for them. And Sabonis is about to be 30. I want to get younger.
Yeah. Well, hey, you mentioned the veteran presence, right? I mean, a 30-year-old isn't. How much money is Sabonis commanding? Do you think he commands a max deal?
I think, yes.
You think so?
Oh, God, yes. If Paul George gets a max deal and he's only playing 40 games a year, then Sabonis is easy to get a max deal. It's easy to win the max deal.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
Every
who's out there? Y'all gonna? Are you guys gonna be in on Giannis?
no.
Try and offload
That's
Joel over to Milwaukee?
no, I'm good off that. Please don't bring that up to me. Well, hey, while you bring up Giannis, do we want to talk about that news that happened last night? Doc Rivers resigning as Bucks head coach.
Doc Rivers getting fired from coaching.
Yeah, resigning my backside. They told him, look, either step down or we're going to fire you.
Resigning makes it sound a lot better after you just got inducted into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Which, what a weak class this is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, Doc Rivers.
Amari Stoudemire. Hey, I like Amari Stoudemire, but I mean, come on. Was he a Hall of Famer?
That's like us asking if Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Eventually. Eventually. Oh. That's the answer. Okay. Eventually.
But here's the difference. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Amari Stoudemire doesn't have any type of accolades like that.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, Anthony, I'm not playing Family Feud with the Antetokounmpo brothers because
Giannis and Thanasis.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not letting your brother command a roster spot because he's your brother. He stinks. But again, that's another one. Giannis often injured. Why am I going to go through it again?
Yeah, I mean, you're in a day and age with the NBA where a lot of the star players, they don't play the whole season.
You want to talk about you want to talk about a league that needs a lockout to get their league under control? It's the NBA because their star players run the league, and Adam Silver lets them.
Yeah, they definitely do. So I'm curious, how many games Jokic play this year? 65? Okay. I mean, still 65. Talking out of an 82-game season. 65, played 70 last year.
I think he did have some type of an injury at some point this year.
He did. He usually has some like little minor injuries where he might miss like a week.
Yeah, so I don't want to necessarily come out here and go nuts on
Oh
Jokic
no,
because
I'm not going after Jokic.
because I mean, if you look at everything up before this year, he's played 70 or more
Oh
almost every
yeah,
year.
he averages 70, sometimes 80 a year. He's not the
Jokic just
problem with availability in the NBA.
and I'm sorry, the guy's making deep playoff runs almost every other year. If anybody deserves to get a couple days off here and there, it's that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so Doc Rivers fired by quote unquote resigning as Bucks head coach. Bucks disappointing year, and honestly, disappointing tenure with Doc Rivers at the helm. This is coming off of just a couple seasons ago when they fired Adrian Griffin 43 games into the season when the
This
team
is
was 30-13.
this is what they deserve.
So
They were the first,
yes,
they were the one seed.
they were the
They
one
fired
seed.
their coach mid-season. This is honestly where I really stopped watching and following the NBA because I just didn't know what was going on in a league where you fire a coach that has you at the one seed with a 30-13 record at the midway point.
Well, so I went and did some digging. Okay, I went on some detective work, and I wanted to go. What were the key factors in Griffin getting fired back in January of 2024? So here's what I found: the team's defense, the team defensively was underperforming compared to their expectations. Okay, you traded for Damian Lillard. Don't know what kind of defense he plays, but okay. They believe that their championship window, the organization felt a more experienced hand was necessary to maximize their potential. Another thing they had
And
was
they
him dealing with
maximized
the
already.
start, and the other one was the team dynamic dealing with integrating an offense centered around Giannis and Damian Lillard. So you fired the guy that was the number one seed in the East because you swore your defense was declining. Breaking news: Bucks weren't that great of a defensive team ever. Integrating an offense around both Damian Lillard and Giannis. Not to Giannis. Not going with the. I'm done with the last name. And also poor in-game management. Have you
I
watched
don't
Doc
know how
Rivers
you
coach
get,
throughout his career?
and not even that. I don't know how you get to the one seed in the Eastern Conference managing games poorly. They just must have been the luckiest team in the NBA.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, ever since they fired him, you talked about it. This was the karma they got. Since then, Dame tore his Achilles and ultimately is back in Portland.
Yep.
Giannis, who he still won't come out and publicly say it, but I don't think Giannis wants the Giannis wanting out. There are two things in this world I need to know. Giannis, do you really still want to be in Milwaukee? And AJ Brown, do you want to be traded? Can you both just come out and say it or not say it? Like, can you both just say something? Like, there's so much speculation. It's like, guys, we are in a world of social media where all you have to do is tweet out one thing saying, get me the bleep out of here, and we'll
Well,
understand what you mean.
see, it's a little easier for AJ, but for Giannis, he's got two brothers on that roster he's got to look out for. So if he leaves, they're probably cut by the end of the week.
Okay, tell his brothers to actually be good basketball players. Oh, George, I agree with that. Mark Price should have been in way before Amari Stoudemire. And like that's the other thing. When was Amari Stoudemire ever the best player on a team?
Never. He was always just the secondary player, the big man, jump and dunk.
Yeah, he had a mid range. Don't
He
disrespect him too
had a
much
little
now.
nice mid range, nice little
But
hook shot too.
would you ever think a team would pick him over Steve Nash? And I mean, the Knicks back then, they were so desperate because they could. I mean, their best player in free agency they signed at one point was Raymond Felton. They were so confident that he could be the best player on a team that 45 games into his contract, they traded for Carmelo Anthony. and Chauncey Billups, when he was on the last legs of his career, man, was that a time. 2011 playoff Chauncey Billups was torching the Celtics. But yeah, I don't understand what the Bucks were thinking of. Okay, let's fire this guy and hire a guy who, A, not only has underperformed everywhere he's been back to his days in Boston, because after 2008, teams figured out how they ran and it was over. He wasn't even in the NBA at the time. He didn't have a job. The Sixers had just fired him. Hey, you think that's the right way to go? Okay. So now the question is, where do the Bucks go from here?
Well, let's see. We need a new coach. Giannis still I see Giannis possibly getting moved this offseason. The Bucks might be headed towards rebuild. I mean, what up and coming youth pieces do they have on that team?
Unless do you try to hire a coach? Miles Turner's still a good player.
He is. You got whatever you can get out of Gary Trent Jr.
They don't have any guards, so don't even try it.
No, they don't.
All right, George, that may be the best comment of the night. Giannis to Seattle before we even get the Sonics back.
You know what? Boom. Giannis to Seattle. Joel to Seattle. Ship them all out there.
Going to leave them unprotected in the expansion draft. That's awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so the two veteran names that I'm seeing here for the Bucks job, Darvin Ham, oh dear God. Taylor Jenkins. I will say, I think Taylor Jenkins actually makes a lot of sense because that was the peak of the Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. era in Memphis. I actually wanted Taylor Jenkins before the Sixers hired Nick Nurse. And at the time, I thought Nick Nurse was a good hire. And wow, how dumb do I look? But
you were so happy about Nick Nurse.
Because I thought a guy that, again, another guy. I basically hired I'm trying to. I hired the Caucasian Doc Rivers. A guy who's living off a championship because he had a loaded team. But when you actually have to be a coach, it doesn't work. But no. Jenkins, and we know something. Ja Morant, not a perfect player. Jaren Jackson, in my opinion, was the most talented player on those Grizzlies teams. I thought Jenkins was unfairly fired. I think he would be a solid addition for the Bucks at this point at where they are. Now, if you hire Taylor Jenkins, I'm assuming that's their hope of they're going to keep Giannis. I don't know. I don't know what Giannis's future is. Does he get moved this summer or not? I have no idea.
I think he gets moved this summer.
Now, if they hire Taylor Jenkins, or even if it's Darvin Ham, which, God, I may throw up in my mouth for that if that happens. If they hire one of those two, that would make me think that Giannis may be staying. Or they're going to try to get him to stay. Because you're right, though. They don't have a lot of young assets. And, I mean, Miles Turner's a good player. But, what else you have outside of Giannis and Turner? Bobby Portis?
Just your role player, basically, off the bench.
And that's what cracks me up the most is that the Bucks basically came out and said this is their way of extending their championship window. I don't think they finished. They barely finished over 500 with Doc Rivers.
Nope.
So you want to hire Doc Rivers to keep your championship window open. Boy, have you not followed the LA Clippers. Because they made the same mistake. They couldn't win with Vinny Del Negro, so they went out and not only did they get Doc Rivers from the Celtics, they traded for Doc Rivers. They gave up capital to get a head coach. I've never seen that day in my life. By the way, the bloodbath is on in South Philly. It's 11-2 Phillies.
Wow.
And the Flyers are currently tied at 2 with 22 seconds to go in the second period.
Are they both playing in Philly tonight?
Yes.
Oh my, that complex is probably a nightmare.
Oh,
and exciting.
I try going in 2023 for the Flyers home opener with the NLCS going on across the road. And there was a soccer game going on at the Link that night.
Huh. Oh,
I may or may not have gone to both games. I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
Sam, we know you went to both games.
We left in the second period of the Flyers game and went and watched the Phillies score 10 runs on the Diamondbacks. Well, yeah, I just don't. The Bucks' direction will go off who do they hire? Do they look at Taylor Jenkins and Darvin Ham and go for a veteran option, or do they call it a rebuild and call it a day? Because I don't. Oh, George, I know we've seen it happen. I just don't think I just never thought I'd see an NBA team dumb enough to trade for Doc Rivers. I mean, if I'm trading for like Phil Jackson. I ain't trading for Doc Rivers. Oh, by the way, George, a decision on said graphic art design has not been made yet. Thank you for making our lives miserable because we have to decide on these things. You had to give me 2 and 2 awesome ones. Thank you. A decision has not been made yet.
Because I haven't even seen either one yet.
I gotcha. Mikey, what's up, brother? Good evening.
What's up, Mike?
He's predicting Tyreek Hill to the Jags. Mike, you want everybody on the Jags, don't you?
Man. Still not getting Jalen Hurts.
I still think Tyreek Hill's going to end up back in Kansas City. Somebody brought up him going to Philly if they trade AJ, and I told him, please kick rocks.
I'll pass on that.
I'm good off that. I don't need any of that. But all right, Tyler, play in. That starts tomorrow. Let's give some predictions, and then we'll probably call it. We'll probably call it a night. George just sent them to you.
Thanks,
sent them in the. I was going to send them to you after the freaking show. Anyway, let's go into the play in here. So tomorrow we have Heat and Hornets, Trailblazers, Suns, and then on Wednesday we have Magic, Sixers, Clippers, Warriors. Tyler, please explain how this works again.
So, you get your crappy Miami Heat team versus your slightly as crappy Hornets team. Hornets are the 9th seed. Miami's the 10th seed. They battle it out for the quote-unquote, I guess you would call it a 9th seed, because then you take the 7 and 8 team, they play each other. The winner of that gets the 7th seed. So then the loser of that game gets a second chance to beat the winner of the 9th versus 10th place team. So if you're the 9th or 10th place team, you got to win twice to make it in. If you're at 7 or 8, you only have to win once. Yeah, no, Anthony, I'm not sleeping on the Hornets at all. Miami technically holds the season series against them 2-1. They also played them earlier in the year when they didn't have it all put together. But the last time they played them in the middle of March, they got their wheels blown off. So let's just say I'm not the most confident.
Well, first off, I wouldn't recommend sleeping on a Hornet. You'll get stung.
Very true. But yeah,
All right.
Hornets, they're 5.5-point favorites. They have the home court.
I give it again. Miami's always a team. Play in playoffs, no matter what. Eric Spoelstra always has that team ready to play.
He does. That is one of the main things I will always give them, and
Me
to
too.
give Spolstra. I mean, you can't take nothing away from him as a coach.
No.
I mean, if there's a guy who will get his players to where they need to be to win that game, he's the one to lead them to it. From what I'm seeing here, both teams look to be at full strength.
Yeah.
No one notable missing from either side, so it's just going to be their best versus our best.
So I think that leaves the question: like, does Miami have enough to throw at? I mean, the Hornets. I mean, let's just put the easy three out there. Does Miami
Yeah.
have enough to throw at LaMelo, Con Knipple, and Brandon Miller? And don't forget about Miles Bridges either, and him averaging
Yes.
17.1 points this year.
That I don't have the answer for. I'm not too confident in it. The Heat struggles this year. What have I said about them in past years? Ironically, all with Jimmy Butler, some of the best defensive teams in the league.
Yeah.
Since he's gone, that has changed. They're scoring more points per game now. I think they're averaging like, how many is it? They're averaging about 121 points a game, but they're giving up like 118. So the defense is not that great. So it worries me with the scorers that the Hornets have. I think they're going to get into a shootout. And it's going to come down to whatever team slips up first and misses more shots.
You're going to need you're going to need an efficient game from Norman Powell. I'm not
Efficient game
worried.
from Norman Powell. I worry about Hero still as well. Because I've seen
That's
him
the
a lot
wild
of
card.
times where he'll either go ghost and he'll miss a lot of shots,
Or he'll play hero.
or he'll play hero ball. Or another one he likes to do, he'll drop like 30 points but take like 30 shots.
Welcome to today's NBA. That's like LaMelo does the same thing.
Well,
Because here's the thing, I'm not worried about Bam. I don't think Charlotte has a front court player that can really go up with Bam.
no.
What I'm worried about is, like, do you get into a shootout with those other guys? And, like, you're going to need a big night out of Norman Powell. You're going to need big nights out of Tyler Hero. But who's that other perimeter player? Is it Jaquez?
Hawk has 6 men. He doesn't start.
Doesn't matter. I'm talking about
Yeah,
matching
that
up
is
point
true.
wise. I don't care where he's.
Matching up, like you're talking about bucket for bucket, or like
Yeah, because, like,
smoke
here's the
bucket
thing.
for bucket.
Because look, you know what LaMelo and Knipple are going to give you.
Yeah.
Bridges is giving you 17. Brandon Miller's giving you 18 to 20. So if Bam's going to give you his, Norman Powell's going to give you his, Tyler Hero, you're hoping gives you his. Well, that's three. You need some. There's
Hawkins
still
will do
fourth
damage
guy.
off the bench. He'll do damage off the bench. I expect your main scorers to be Hero, Powell, Bam, Hawkes, and honestly, I'm gonna throw out Andrew Wiggins. I
I
think
keep forgetting
Andrew
you guys have
Wiggins.
Andrew
Yeah,
Wiggins
I this year they've got some of his healthiest basketball out of him. He's averaging 15.
shooting pretty well from three too.
Yeah, so I think he'll be one to watch for. I know over the last month or so they've rested him a little bit here and there to kind of keep him healthy for this playoff push. So, it's all hands on deck in this game.
And another, like, you were talking about Miami's defense, not the greatest Miami team defensively in the Eric Spoelstra era. Yes, Bam's still a very good defender. Hero, Pal,
Mm,
big game. You need a really good game on the perimeter defensively from Davion Mitchell, because that's probably
yes.
one of your best wing defenders you have.
Yes.
You definitely are going to need him to step it up and guard somebody. Whether you want to have him go one-on-one with LaMelo, do you want him chasing Con Knipple all over the court like a nut job? Do you want him to punch
Honestly,
Miles? Do you
you
want him to punch
know,
Miles Bridges in the face? Because I wouldn't mind if he did that either.
you know what I would try out if I was Spolstra? I would start both Ware and Adebayo because I'm not too worried about Musa Diabate. Not at all.
Did you just call me fat in the native language?
Yes.
Awesome.
Kello Ware can control him in the paint. That would free up Bam to help out and maybe cover Miles Bridges instead of playing the smaller lineup and having Wiggins at power forward covering Bridges. So I don't know.
Now,
But then again, I've rarely seen a lineup this year of the Heat that started both Bam and Ware. So chances are Spolstra's not going to try to get cute now. But it could be a different look to throw at the Hornets that they might not be expecting.
yeah, I mean, if you're going to try to experiment with something different in the playoffs, the play-in is probably the best place to do
Yeah,
that.
right.
So
Like you shouldn't be there. You're playing with house money. Come on,
you're
give
you're
it
the
your best
10th seed.
shot.
It's not like you're a finals contender.
Yeah, give it your best shot. Well, hey, never say never. I'll say it for you. Never.
All right, Mikey's going Hornets.
Mikey, I'm not upset.
I'm going with the Hornets too, Ty. I'm sorry.
Even though everything tells me I shouldn't,
He's going down with the ship.
I'm going down with the ship. I have to. How can you not go down with the ship? I got to go with the Miami Heat. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. And I think it's within 3 points. Mikey, the Heat have cooled off well before this. They're not hot. They are not hot.
They haven't been hot since number 6 went back to Cleveland.
Oh, brother.
Sorry. You knew it was coming.
Man, you didn't have to go there.
I went with them. It's okay.
Yeah, you did. Very true.
All right. Suns Trailblazers. I had no idea the Blazers were the 8th seed in the West.
Yeah. Another team just kind of scraping their way in there.
Well, Denny Avdija is a freaking monster, and all he is a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
But, and now we got, Jeremy Grant, game time decision, calf injury. That could be an injury to watch out for. Grayson Allen, also questionable game time decision. He's been one of the Suns' better bench players. So, 2 injuries to keep an eye on. He's got a hamstring injury. How are we feeling, man? Where are we looking at this one?
True. I mean, the Blazers definitely match up very well against Phoenix. I haven't followed much of Phoenix this year to even know how they got to this point.
Still 45-37.
Yeah, very respectable. Booker's doing his thing.
Have you seen the year Dylan Brooks has had for them?
Shocked.
20 points per game.
Shocked. I don't know where you learned how to score the ball like that out of nowhere, but yeah, shocked.
Jalen Green, 17.8. I mean, he's only played 32 games this year, but
Yeah, but I mean, hey, get him back healthy for the push.
Former
I
Heat.
I feel like the Blazers could upset in this game.
I don't like Phoenix's. Honestly, I'm thinking about that because right now I'm looking at Phoenix's roster. I don't know if I like too many guys to put the ball in the basket consistently enough that's not named Devin Booker.
Yeah. And who knows? All you need is one bad Devin Booker game, and you're done for.
You're not wrong.
Let's say he struggles and he only scores like 16 in the game. Then you're really screwed.
Yeah, I mean, then you're banking on guys like Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Shout out former Villanova guard Colin Gillespie. He's averaging 12 points a game this year on that Suns team. Honestly, I think I may like Portland in this. I think they have more. I mean, like if Denny Avdija struggles, I mean, you still have Drew Holiday. Shaden Sharp's putting up 20 a night.
Yep.
Jeremy Grant's putting up almost 20 a night.
Oh yeah. How about your boy Matisse Thybulle?
Oh, give me a break. Him and his 5 points a game.
Yeah, hey man. If he's still a solid defender, it's all that matters, right?
Scoot Henderson, who only played 30 games this year because of a hamstring injury, but he's giving you 14.
Yeah, he's a guy. They can keep him healthy, and get him healthy next year. I mean, still, it's only his third year in the league. He's got a bright future. He was
And
very
who
highly
knows?
touted coming out of college.
Who knows? Maybe Dame will sit in the corner for 3 plays and shoot 3 threes like he did the 3-point shootout. Who
Oh
knows?
my man.
Yeah, I'm leaning Portland. I think they may have more depth scoring wise than Phoenix.
Yeah. And you talk about the experience. I mean, Drew Holiday,
That's
tons of championship experience. And the only one that the Suns really have is Devin Booker.
whoa, George. Tell Bryce to slow his roll.
Oh man.
Whoa. Show some respect for Devin Booker. Come on. 26.1 points per game is nothing to not look at. Come on.
Yeah. No, I respect what the Suns did after they tried to put together that super team that just completely failed. They scale it back. And now you're, well, looking like you might be in the playoffs. Now these teams, they're both the Suns are 7th seed, Blazers are 8th seed. So both of these teams have two chances in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
One of them wins, gets the 7th seed. The second one has a chance to play the winner of 9 and 10. So they've earned the right to have two chances to maintain their spot in the playoffs. I think I'm definitely going with the Blazers, though, for the upset. I think the Suns may still make it in. They might win that second game for the 8th seed. But I think the Blazers are going to win the game, get that 7th seed.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Portland's got more scoring depth than the Suns do. I think it's a lot of Devin Booker, and I think Portland has more of the veteran leadership, like you said, with Drew Holiday, and I think that they have a really good shot at taking this one. All right, let's move on to our Wednesday games. We have Sixers and Magic. Oh dear God!
Good luck.
Somehow the Sixers are 1.5 point favorites.
Huh?
How? Am I missing something with the Magic?
Yo, is somebody hurt? Is there a key injury going on there?
No.
That's surprising to me.
Thanks, Mikey.
I mean, all things considered, the Sixers did make it to a 45 win record this year. with how little
Okay.
Joel Embiid has played and Paul George has played, it's still impressive. You can't crap on him too much.
Uh, give me the
Just
Magic.
think of what they could have done if they had everyone healthy.
Give me the Magic. Move on.
You know what? No, Sam, I'm not letting you get away that easy.
Oh, knock it off.
Who do the Sixers have for this game? Paul George
Everybody but it
is back, right? They have everyone
should
but
be everybody.
Joel.
Everybody but Joel. What's that do?
I think that's enough to win the game.
Okay, against a team that has Desmond Bain, Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero, Wagner. They have no front court answer for Franz Wagner at all. None.
Yeah, you might be
And
on something.
Banchero. They have no answer in that front court. Who's
Yeah.
guarding Paolo Banchero? Now, don't get me wrong. I know Banchero on the perimeter is awful. He's not a good 3-point shooter. So if you force him out there, you'll live with it. It's like LeBron in 07. Force him to shoot jumpers. I get that. Who is guarding these two? A 38-year-old Paul George and Dominic Barlow? Meanwhile, I got to watch a Dembona foul out in the first 10 minutes because he's got to go against Wendell Carter. Oh, please stop.
I'm just looking at these regular season matchups against these two teams. Very all over the place. Like, you guys blew them out, they blew you out. They lost a close game. I don't know how this could go. I don't think it's as simple as you're making it seem. You know
I
what?
think I've made.
I gotta go with the Magic.
Yeah, I just don't see how the Sixers handle their front court well at
Yeah,
all.
you got a good point with Wagner. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Who's stopping him?
I don't know who does and how they do it, but I'm not very confident in it. And then,
So we're gonna get a great.
God,
Well, actually, no, that wouldn't be a rematch. Because if Miami beats, oh wait, this is perfect. If Miami wins against Charlotte, Orlando wins against the Sixers play Miami, and Miami's been beating the Sixers over the last few times they've met each other. Didn't they sweep them this year in their 3 game
I don't know.
series?
I think they probably did. We don't play That's because Joel doesn't play against Miami well.
Insert Bam Adebayo. You don't like it when them centers can come guard him on the perimeter.
He doesn't like when he actually has to try. Mike, the Magic may be spotty, but the Sixers are just as spotty, especially without Joel. And this is a game like this is why the Magic went out and made the trade to get Desmond Bain. Get
Yeah.
a guy out there who's a perimeter defender, can defend guys like Maxey, Edgecombe, Paul George. It'll be very interesting to see how those matchups work. But yeah, I'm going with the Magic. I just don't think the Sixers have enough. Again, the front court is so thin. It was thin with Joel. So I have to trust. So my trust to guard Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero are Paul George, Dominic Barlow, Jabari Walker. And then my centers are Adembona and whatever's left of Andre Drummond.
I need the Magic to beat the Sixers
They're going to.
because I can't watch another Orlando versus Miami game. I can't do it. They got swept by them, Sam, this year. Do you know how many times they played them? Like
4
five
times.
times. And they lost every single game. They cannot beat the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, who are we kidding? Both our teams are going to be out, even if they make it to the first round. It'll be first
Pretty
round and out.
much. And last up, we've got Clippers Warriors.
Man, who's what seed? Are the Clippers the ninth seed? I think they
I
are.
think so. Yes. No, they're the 10th. Clippers are the
They are
9th.
the 10th. Oh, no, Clippers are ninth.
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Man. What if I missed? How did the Clippers win 42 games? That was because James
Because
Harden, isn't it?
because they went and got younger, like I said they
Wait,
should, and they're
Kawhi played 65 games? Am I
yeah, I
seeing
know.
things? 65? Wow. Played more than James Harden. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Man. John Collins, Zubats, Darius Garland, James Harden.
Zubats on that team and James
Oh,
Harden.
they
James Harden.
traded.
They traded
Oh,
Harden and
wait, they
Zubats.
traded them. That's
Where are
right.
you? Where are you at?
I'm late. I'm not paying attention to all the asterisks of the players that got moved.
No, they traded Zubats, and this is no, because we talked about this when they at the trade deadline. The Clippers got younger, and I said they probably got better. And let's look at the guys they got back. They got Garland back in the Harden trade, and in 19 games with the Clippers, 20 points a game, 6 assists, 43% from three, 1.2 steals. And then you go look at the Zubats trade. They got Benedict Mathurin, and in 26 games off the bench, he's averaging 17.4 points per game. And Isaiah Jackson, who's been a solid front court depth piece, has averaging 7 points, almost 5 rebounds, and almost a block and a half a game. They got younger. Kawhi got healthy somehow,
Somehow.
miraculously.
There's hope for Joel yet.
No, there's not. And they got younger and they got more athletic and they got faster. And now that's why they're sitting here above 500. So that is exactly why. And I think I'm taking them over the Warriors because the Warriors just without Jimmy Butler, I don't see how they win this game.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy would have been your best shot at slowing down Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as Kawhi Leonard's healthy and averaging almost 28 damn points. Yeah, that's hard to pick the Warriors. The Warriors, they're playing with so little.
Yeah.
Like the team was already gutted enough.
Yeah, and
You
that's
lose
hard.
Jimmy for the whole year. What is Draymond and Chris Tapps and Curry gonna do for you?
Nothing much. Mikey, I think that may be on your end because I just checked the audio on my end and it's coming through just fine. So I have no idea. You have to give it a little check on your end because we're A-okay over here. But yeah, no, again, well, Porzingis has actually played pretty solid.
He has, but it's just not enough.
No, it's not. The Warriors don't. It's Steph and what else?
Yeah. Now, I mean, we could just see an insane scoring display out of Steph, and he drops like 50.
He may have to if they want to advance.
Oh, they may. They will have to, not may.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't see a scenario how the Warriors win these games. The Clippers are, like I said, neither of these teams aren't great. I mean, they're 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 seeds, but still,
Yeah.
I think the Clippers, their youth and what they did at the trade deadline, I think has turned the corner for them, and they've played some pretty solid basketball ever since ever since they made those trades and they got off their older players. So, yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Clips on this one because, again, the Warriors, it feels like you're like that dynasty is on the last leg.
It is. And that leg is Steph Curry.
It is. That leg is Steph Curry. So, well, all right. We talked a lot of Sixers tonight. Talked a lot of basketball in general. The Bucks. Talked some coaching stuff, some Doc Rivers stuff. Gave our play-in picks. We'll keep our NBA playoff coverage going throughout the next couple of weeks here. But guys, once again, reminder, next week. I'm going to announce this on every show this week heading into next week. Unbiased on Monday, same time, same place, NFL draft preview. DA After Dark makes its long-awaited return after about a month. We'll talk more NFL and some other fun stuff that George will have planned for us. Dustin and I will be live for Hitting Home on Wednesday morning. Thursday and Friday next week, NFL Night 1 of the NFL Draft. Full live reactions to the entire first round. Friday night, we'll be on giving live reactions for rounds 2 and 3. All of 2, a portion of round 3. Can we promise the whole thing on night 2? Absolutely not. But we will be live for all that NFL draft coverage next week. So make sure you tune in with us all next week. It's going to be absolutely electric and fun, and it's going to be a good old time next week. With that being said, Tyler, anything else we would like to add for tonight?
Let's go Heat. Woo.
And it is April 13th, 2026, and I'm still trusting the process. But guys, thank you once again, everybody, for joining us tonight. We hope you all enjoyed tonight's episode. Got a bunch of NBA stuff out, which, look, the NBA needed this week from us because next week it is NFL, and all more NFL. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to everybody for throwing the comments in tonight. Every single one of you. We appreciate every single comment you guys threw in tonight. We always love talking to our fans. Always love engaging with you guys on a weekly basis. So, guys, have a great rest of your Monday night. And we will see you for Hitting Home on Wednesday morning to talk some baseball. So, guys, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?